Now then, how qualified is the person who looks after your child? The question comes after a woman claims she got an official certificate that says she's a nanny, despite never having looked after children and having no qualifications or first aid skills whatsoever.
Well, the register is run by the education watchdog Ofsted, which defends its procedures. But the woman who makes those claims, Karen Dixon from the London Nanny Company, says she's exposed a loophole which could put youngsters at risk. The full story now from Lewis Vaughan-Jones.
Little Jacob isn't the only one in need of a little reassurance. Parents who use a nanny need to know they've got the right person. Bai Tao Yan is fully qualified, but there are claims that unsuitable people are being given the official stamp of approval.
I think this is very bad, that if people don't have the qualifications, that they are then being issued with certificates, because it makes it very hard for me as a mother to ensure that I'm getting the correct kind of person to look after my children.
It was just a case of filling it in, ticking a few boxes.
Karen Dixon runs a nanny agency. She wanted to expose the alleged flaws in Ofsted's childcare register.
I just said that I had everything they were looking for, signed it, took it to the post office, and 8 weeks later my Ofsted certificate plopped through the letterbox.
So she has her certificate despite never working with children.
If we're going to run an Ofsted system for child carers, for nannies, home-based child carers, then the Ofsted need to put a much better system in place which will enable them to fully check that a nanny has the relevant qualifications.
At the moment, Ofsted check people's criminal records and first aid certificates, but there are calls for nannies to be interviewed before they're allowed on the register. Ofsted say parents should know that a registered nanny has been trained and CRB checked. In 2007, they introduced new procedures to try and guard against fraudulent applications. But they say it's not always possible to stop someone who's prepared to break the law.
Parents can be absolutely reassured that if their nanny is registered with Ofsted on the voluntary childcare register, that those individuals have been thoroughly checked.
And Ofsted say it does come down to parents to check the experience and qualifications of those who look after their children. Lewis Vaughan-Jones, London Tonight.
You may think qualifications and experience are a basic requirement for an Ofsted registered nanny, but the owner of a nanny agency in London says she was immediately accredited despite having no training and having never cared for children. Sarah Harris has the story.
For more than 2 years, Rachel's been working as a nanny in Fulham, looking after Max and Felix. She's Ofsted checked, has first aid and childcare qualifications. 7,000 nannies are now on the Ofsted register, and many see the £100 fee as money well spent.
Ofsted sounds really official, and parents feel that they have an extra layer of protection. You know, when you're looking after their children, that's obviously the most important thing.
But critics of the Ofsted system say it's not worth the paper it's written on. Karen Dixon runs the London Nanny Company in Knightsbridge. She lost count of the number of unqualified, unexperienced Ofsted-registered nannies trying to get onto her books. And she decided to go undercover to expose the flaws in the system and apply to go on the register.
I wouldn't know now one end of a baby from another, and certainly not anything to do with disposable nappies. So I thought, well, if I can apply and if I'm registered, then that really is something to worry about. And I downloaded the form off the internet, off the Ofsted site, filled it in, ticked a few boxes and went off to the post office, and 8 weeks later my application, my certificate came through.
The Ofsted system of vetting nannies was put under the spotlight today by MPs. It was first introduced in 2005 when tax breaks were first offered to parents employing home-based childcare, and the organisation defends its record.
I don't think there's a problem. I think the register works perfectly well. The register is designed to give parents reassurance that the person they're employing to take care of their children is a safe and appropriate person to be in charge of children, and that's what the register is designed to do.
Whether nannies are registered or not, the advice to parents is always to double check to make sure their children are as well looked after as Felix and Max. Sarah Harris, BBC London.